what you were probably thinking when you heard that there was going to be a Watchmen movie? Who the fuck are the Watchmen? Why does it feel like the world expects for you to give a shit? Well, Watchmen was a 12-issue comic series written by Alan Moore and published by DC Comics, and to date is considered one of the best graphic novels of all time. Why should you give a shit? Well, there's really no reason to. Watchmen is actually a barely above average movie, and it doesn't leave you feeling like you wasted your time when you're done with it, but it really leaves you thinking you could have seen better and you really want to see better. The Watchmen movie was about 2 hours and 42 minutes long, and the comic book was about 5 hours for me to read cover to back. Now, the good news is that with the comic book, I wasn't obligated to sit through and read it in one bang. No. I had the time to take a break and enjoy some of the more subtle and necessary things in life. Fucking love this movie. And I also gotta enjoy the things that we take for granted as moviegoers. Oh, hands. So what does it all mean? Well, it means writer Alexei and everyone who backed his script didn't realize one little thing. What works for a comic book doesn't always work for a fucking movie! The fact that the book for the average reader would take twice as long to finish as a movie should be fact enough. But just looking at it, you can see that if you weren't in a panel with one of the Watchmen, your ass was gone. That's a lot of cut content. A lot of content that would help you get the characters of Dr. Manhattan, Night Owl 2, and Silk Spectre 2. Huh. So, what do you get in the film adaptation? Well, you get a story and a script that feels like it never really learned how to walk before it could run. Dialogue and characters that are so hollow and empty that they just echo back and forth between one another. And an overall sense that you're getting gypped out of one of the experiences that film can offer that comics can't. Though, what that is right now currently escapes me. At least you feel like you know what the movie's about. Fucking script decided to hog up as much of the opening credits as possible to give you the minimum briefing. If you don't know what it's about, it's a world like ours, only superheroes are more real, and America won the Vietnam War with a giant black Speedo-wearing blue superhero who also keeps the Soviets at bay from blowing the hell out of Nixon, America, and the world. Which puts you in 1985 in a very different world. The gripes I have about the dialogue and story come from the script and Alexei, not the acting. To be honest, everyone did their job well. Patrick Wilson as Night Owl 2, Mylon Ackerman as Silk Spectre 2, Billy Crudup as Dr. Manhattan, Matthew Good as Ozymandias. All of them did their characters justice, but got shafted on audience sympathy and or empathy due to the cut content, and couldn't give us a better show. But man oh man, two people really stood out for me. The comedian played by Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Rorschach played by Jackie Earle Haley. Holy damn. The comedian has got to be the single most badass, hard-boiled, non-delusional superhero I have ever seen. This son of a bitch knows he's a selfish, greedy, cruel, and sick bastard, and you just gotta give him props for knowing what and who he is. And man, Jeffrey just plays him so well. Each scene he's in is gold, and you're so glad you get to see a character with such depth and conflict. The comedian played by Jeffrey Dean Morgan gets my official movie award for most badass on-screen superhero. Take a bow, Jeffrey. You fucking earned it. But don't think Rorschach is a footnote to the comedian. No. Rorschach not only keeps the story moving like the comedian, he's that character that knows who he is and doesn't have to walk around in circles like everyone else has to due to the script. Nah. Rorschach finds the bad guy, and when he finds you, you'd best count your blessings. He knows who he isn't. Unlike Batman with Bruce Wayne being Batman, Walter Kovacs isn't Rorschach. Rorschach isn't even Walter Kovacs. Rorschach is Rorschach. Oh, and you gotta love a guy with the tact and taste to turn someone into a fucking human french fry. Oh, but the two of them keep the movie interesting and save it from being so much worse. But the action does help the movie out. When fights happen, they happen. And they're done so well. Zack Snyder's work on the picture is... Oh yeah, that's it, Zack Snyder in 300! I don't carry a torch for 300 as a movie in general, but I carry a torch for it for its beautiful action, and I really want to thank Zack Snyder for doing it. I guess that's where I feel the movie falls short. I know Zack is a good director, but why deny the fans what you're best at if you can help it? Oh wait, because he can't. There are only so many fights and action scenes in the book and script, and they have only so much flexibility. Anyways, they've got Zack Snyder's work all over them. Beautiful, well-executed, graphic, detailed, and satisfying as hell. So, there you have it, my take on Watchmen. A well-loved comic with well-loved characters, poorly transferred from book to film. You know, I often wonder what David Hayter's script would have been like. Well, anyways, Watchmen, a slightly above average film, worthy of a 7.5 stars out of 10. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. If you read the comic, you were probably expecting it, but if you didn't, Dr. Manhattan is very much nude and very much anatomically correct for the majority of the movie. I mean, talk about sticking to the comic, Alex say. At least you're dedicated, I'll give you that. I didn't laugh or giggle like most people at the premiere whenever Dr. Manhattan showed up naked, but I did chuckle when he came stomping over the hill in Vietnam and seeing he was wearing his GI Speedo. I mean, a blue giant in a Speedo. Come on. I don't know, it kind of reminded me of the scene in the Simpsons movie with Bart on the skateboard naked. Remember? Anyways, keep that in mind if you don't want to expose anyone to Dr. Manhattan's frightening blue jalopy.
Come gather round, people, wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown, and accept it that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, then you better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone, or the time